All right, everybody, this is the 5 minutes before we're getting ready to kick off the show called Just Because I Wanna. And that show kicks off in 5 minutes. We're here in a quick 5 minute preview on what's going to end up happening in the show today. Just Because I Wanna. Thursday Night Football. Why not? Let's talk about the game that is there and ready to go. That is a game that has some interesting things about it, so we'll talk about that. You're in the 5 minute preview before we kick this off at the bottom of the hour, so we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about an interesting story coming out of the NFL regarding healthcare and a situation regarding some of the former NFL players of some of the things that they got themselves caught into. We'll be doing that. We'll be talking about some of the other NFL news that are going to be happening here at the bottom of the hour. Again, we kick this thing off at 11:30, so we'll be doing that. We'll talk about some of the news. We'll look at the standings in the NFL. Look who has an opportunity to clinch, who doesn't, who you think is going to make the playoffs. That is all going to be talking about here at the bottom of the hour at 11:30. We are in the 5 minute. Let's just kind of get started. You are going to be looking at Just Because I Wanna here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Also, folks that don't know, I am a commentator for right here, the locals in SOAR Championship Wrestling. They will be having their kind of like their WrestleMania, but it's called SOAR Mania. That's going to be happening on February 13th. That's a Thursday over at the Richardson Civic Center. We'll be talking about a little bit of that, more playing the commercial and thing. Yeah, playing the commercial. Well, why don't we just do that? Let's just play the commercial. Richardson, Texas. Look out. SOAR Championship Wrestling presents SOAR Mania, Thursday, February 13th at the Richardson Civic Center. Bell time is at 7:30. This Mania you don't want to miss. And we'll be bringing that to you live from the Richardson Civic Center on February 14th. It is like the locals. It's a setup for some of the locals who can't get out to the big one that happens. That's WrestleMania. That's going to be happening over in Tampa Bay, Florida. So that's pretty much for locals who can't travel and plus have a lover for indie wrestling. That's going to end up happening on that day. But at the bottom of the hour, we're going to kick this thing off. We're going to talk a little bit about the game that's happening tonight and some of the NFL news. We'll also hear from our sponsors here, especially one of them as far as that's concerned. The reason why we look so good on our broadcast is not today. I'm not wearing my shirt today, but K West Design.
Ever want to know why Bill and I look so good on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook. You can take a look at our pictures and see the quality of the work that comes from K West Designs, especially if you have a special occasion. Just get on Facebook, look up K West Designs right in the search bar, contact them directly for questions or anything that you may have regarding your personal design.
And that's, you can get anything, whether you got some things that you want to do personally. It's around Christmas time, very busy time, but get your orders into K West Design as far as that's concerned. Also, how about Sonny Clark? You know, I'm trying to tone it up. I got to get my inner strength back together. I am training with a former NFL football player. His name is Melvin Bullitt, played for the Indianapolis Colts. Check him out. He is a local sponsor as well as the Couch Potato Sports Show. And when we come back, we'll kick this off at the bottom of the...
At the Jerry Bullitt Training Center, we truly believe experience is the best teacher. With over 50 combined years of knowledge and experience in sports performance and athletic training, our coaches understand exactly what it takes to achieve your goal. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their brand new facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett.
Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all. NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
All right, everybody, it's me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio. You're on just because I wanna. That's what I like to do. That's what I call this show. Thanks for joining in a little bit. There's my brother. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight's football game a little bit later. However, some big news that is coming out as far as the NFL, some of the things that are happening. And guys, this happens all the time because there's a situation that the NFL is kind of in. And it's the NFL, it's the players, it's some of the things that are happening regarding the players, as the players sometimes give their all to this sport. And let's be honest, guys, I don't know if I can handle one NFL game, never mind the ones that go through this for a long time. But right now, there's some big allegations going on right now regarding two former Washington Redskins and some other players as well. But the names that we're talking about, Carlos Rogers, and of course, if you know anything about the running back position coming out of there, Clinton Portis. Now, these are situations prosecutors have gotten involved with this because the prosecutors have targeted the Gene Upshaw NFL Player Health Reimbursement Account Plan. Okay, that was established back in 2006 to help former players get the care that they need, and they have a right to get underneath their retirement and things of that sort. It provides a tax-free reimbursement out-of-pocket medical expenses that were not covered under that insurance. This is it's kind of like a second plan that covers it. It's like an Aflac, they'll take care of their bills, give you the money that you need in order to get by. It's called the supplemental insurance to that. That having been said, that's what makes this thing so sad, because these are monies that are going. But what the Justice Department is alleging right now is that players submitted nearly $4 million in false claims to the plan, resulting in over $3.4 million being paid out between June of 2017 and December 2018. Now, those two are not the only ones there, but court papers allege Portis and 7 other players submitted claims to be reimbursed for expensive medical equipment and things of that sort. But prosecutors are alleging that they never purchased the medical equipment and never received it. So there's lots of things going on, and the indictment is being filed in Kentucky. They're saying they fabricated letters from healthcare providers about using medical equipment, fabricated prescriptions that were purposely signed and turned in to get reimbursement. And this is not a good thing. It's insurance fraud. And I will tell you that this is one of the things that is going on as far as what's going on in the healthcare. The problem with healthcare, and my brother can probably speak a lot as far as that is concerned, the amounts of money that is being charged to insurance companies for sometimes things that cost $10, they're charging $100 for. The overpricing, the over expenditures that are given to the actual insurance company to pay out. And there's a lot of that going on as far as that is concerned, whether that be from the insurance companies trying to get money from the people who pay the policies, or whatever the case may be. But the people who turn in actual invoices to get paid, they are astronomical. They are out of this world. It's one of our problems within insurance, and this is one of the things that they have to take a step at. Now, unfortunately, this happens because no one really cares if Sonny Clark did this. They only care if it's because it's big news that's coming from the NFL. Now, is this elective prosecution? Of course. But the way they do that is so that they can set a precedent to make sure that it doesn't continue to happen even with us. Now, a lot of that comes from doctors. A lot of that comes from everybody getting their kickback on a little bit of everything. And that's one of the problems that we have in today's healthcare. It's one of the reasons why we can't have a national healthcare plan as well. This one here hits the NFL. It hits this situation here, and it is not good. It's not a good situation at all. So that having been said, when you see where this could end up, what kind of result that will come from this will be probably a pretty good result, whether it be jail time, fines, or whatever the case may be. It will be an important court case, and this is happening in Kentucky. And Clinton Portis and Carlos Rogers are two guys that are part of that. And there's also 8 other guys that are involved with it. Again, we're talking about $3.4 million that they got reimbursed cash into their bank accounts for fraudulently saying something was going on, or they were getting this kind of equipment for whatever needed to be done. So that one's a tough one, and it's going to be something that we'll end up watching. Good, bad, or indifferent, it is a case. It is in news, and the NFL doesn't need this kind of thing. They got enough problems of their own as it is. So that having been said, of course, that's the name of our show. On Sunday morning, it's going to be really cool on Sunday morning, because there are a lot of good games as we are coming close to the end of the season. So make sure you check us out on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to noon as we kick it off. You're on Just Because I Wanna. That's my show. It's a show that every once in a while I just want to get up on air and start talking some things, and that's just what we do here on the Couch Potato Sports Show as we get set and ready to go. Let's do this. Let's take a look at the standings, because some interesting things within the standings that are going on in the NFL. Certain teams that have an opportunity to clinch tonight's game. We'll talk about that, but the Baltimore Ravens have an opportunity to clinch tonight. The AFC North Division, which means they'll get a home playoff game, and depending obviously where they end up as far as their record and everything, will they get the first round bye or whatever the case, we'll find out. So let's go to the standings in the NFL. Let's talk the AFC East. Up on top of the AFC is the New England Patriots at 10-3. Now, Buffalo had an opportunity to get a victory against Baltimore last week. They did not get it, so they remain at 9 wins. So there's still that 1-game differential right there as far as the Buffalo Bills are concerned. 1 game behind. So normally when the New England Patriots start clinching at around week 14, round 15 or 16, they start clinching. That's not happening, and that's going to go down to at least week 16 before they'll clinch anything. So we'll take a look at that and watch that as that one goes along. New York out of it, 5-8. Miami out of it, stick a fork in them. They are done. Over in the North, they're saying Baltimore has at least secured a wild card. That part has already happened. They are going for the AFC North tonight against the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk about that game in just a moment. However, right now they are 11-2, leading that division. Pittsburgh at 8-5. They are battling for a wild card position. Cleveland out of it. Well, not officially out of it at 6-7, and Cincinnati is out of it at 1-12 in the AFC North. Over in the AFC South, interesting division where you got 2 teams right now battling that out. Both of them are 8-5. That is Houston and Tennessee. I knew Houston was going to drop that game. After they beat the New England Patriots, I knew they would fall back and not be able to beat the Denver Broncos. Not only that, the Denver Broncos just wiped their face in it, and I knew that was going to happen. Now, I didn't expect a blowout. Sonny Clark will be completely honest, didn't expect that. I expected a touchdown, and they just wiped their face in it. So the Houston Texans remain at 8-5, whereas Tennessee got the victory last week and improved to 8-5. So they are right there as far as that is concerned. And who is on top as of right now, based upon the division records? The Houston is at 3-1, and Tennessee is at 2-2 within the division. So that's the reason why Houston is on top of that division. AFC West. Kansas City, they went ahead and secured a wild card right now. Actually, mark that. Let me just check and see what that means, where it is. They clinched the division when they had the victory last week. So big victory for them, clinches the division, secures at least a wild card home field game, but they are 9-4. Right behind them, no, not right behind them, but 3 games behind are Oakland. They are battling for a wild card. Denver at 5-8, and Los Angeles also at 5-8. Now, looking at this division, the top 4 teams or the top division winners will get it. Right now, just quickly, if it ended now, New England would have it, Baltimore would have it, Houston would have it, and Kansas City. Those are the top. That means only 2 spots remain for the wild card. So you'd have teams fighting for it. Oakland at 6-7, Tennessee at 8-5, Pittsburgh at 8-5, and the Buffalo Bills 9-4. Right now, if it finished, Buffalo would have one of those spots. And I don't know who has the better record, or if there's a head-to-head or whatever the case may be. But Pittsburgh and Tennessee would be battling at 8-5 for that last wild card spot. In the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys, oh my God, I cannot believe how you're still in first place. Cowboys, 6-7, Philadelphia 6-7. Philadelphia lost the opportunity to go ahead and take this division over when they lost to Miami 2 weeks ago. Now, they got a victory against the Giants on Monday Night Football as they brought back Eli Manning. Kind of one of those games that had me worried. I went ahead and took Philly, but it would not have shocked me if Eli figured out how to win. That was a good game that happened. So, but Philadelphia did get that victory. They are behind the Dallas Cowboys because the Cowboys have the head-to-head tiebreaker against them, as well as they have the division record lead at 3-3. Or mark that. Philadelphia has the division lead at 4-3. So that is huge for them. So if they finish head-to-head, Dallas won at home, and it's this week or next week? I think it's next week. Dallas plays Philly in Philly, and if the Eagles win that, what happens is then they'll go to the division games to figure out who wins that division. Washington 3-10, New York 2-11. So right there, only one team is only going to come out of that division as far as playoffs are concerned. Now, going to the NFC North, Green Bay 10-3, Minnesota 9-4. They're the top 2 in that one. Possibly the Minnesota Vikings will get one of those wild card spots that we were talking about, because Chicago at 7-6, they'd have to clean it out, and Minnesota would have to drop at least 2 of them in order for them to make the Lions out of it 3-9-1. Now in the North, the Saints 10-3, they've got that division. Tampa Bay 6-7, 5-8, Carolina 4-9. I don't think any of those teams are going to end up in that because of what's happening over in the West. San Francisco 11-2, Seattle 10-3. Those 2 are going to be battling. So it looks like, as far as what's going to happen, if the division ended now, you have San Francisco, New Orleans, Green Bay, and Dallas. And the wild card teams would be the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. That's how it would end right now. So that's just a quick wrap up on what's going on in the NFL right now as far as the standings is concerned. And what we're going to do is go ahead and, guys, I apologize. I see the notes. Good to see you there, people checking in. Robert Roberts, good to see you out there. So let's see here. And I'll get to some of those comments fairly soon. That being said, of course, check that out on Sunday morning, 9 to noon. We'll take you all the way up to the first games of the NFL. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the game that's happening on Thursday night tonight. So check it out. We'll be back here in 30 seconds.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costco Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance to save a ton. Costco Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostcoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
You just heard from my brother. My brother. Is it? Yeah, but is it fresh? So that's my brother. Thank you for the soundbite. That being said, welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. Just because I want to here on a Thursday morning / afternoon, we'll be going over. But let's talk about the game that is happening tonight as Thursday night football is going on. Some good stuff going on as far as that's concerned. As the Ravens right now, they are looking to go ahead and clinch their second straight AFC North title on Thursday night tonight. So say whatever you want about where they are. Say whatever you want about their quarterback, and I do. I say a lot about the quarterback, and I do. Now, I received an email saying, Sonny Clark, you're out in left field. Of course, Lamar Jackson's a good quarterback. Of course, he is the MVP. Of course, all that. And guys, I just got to take the step back on this, and I will stand by my thing. Lamar Jackson is not a good quarterback. However, I'm not saying that he's not good for the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, but when you're talking MVP, when you're talking about a guy you got at the quarterback position, the first thing when you think about great quarterbacks, just go back in and look at all the great quarterbacks. These are passing quarterbacks. They know how to throw the football. And now, I'm not saying Lamar Jackson doesn't know how to throw the football. I'm saying he doesn't do it enough in order for him to be considered one of the best to play the game. I am sorry. I'm not going to give it to him. I can't give it to him because of the simple fact of the matter is he can't pass the ball consistently. I'm not saying that he is not making up for what he can't do with his legs, but guys, I'm telling you right now, you're talking about Lamar Jackson and what he can and cannot do. I don't want anybody to think that I miss it, because obviously, as you can see by the scroll on the bottom there, he's about ready to get right there with Michael Vick. And when you think about running quarterbacks, you think about Michael Vick. You think about guys like Randall Cunningham, all right? 1,039 yards by Michael Vick. If he gets those 23 yards here tonight, he's going to pass that, break that record, which I don't have any question he's going to do anyway, whether it's tonight, next week, or whatever the case may be. But he is not a good quarterback. And the fact that people are not getting that just goes to show that someone has an agenda for the guy. Hey, and that's wonderful. You can have that agenda. Congratulations. I mean, I will tell you that's great. Have the agenda for your guy, but don't look past the facts when there is not a running quarterback considered in quite possibly the top 50 quarterbacks that have ever played the game. Okay? These are not the guys that do it. Now, I'm not saying that he's not making up for what he can't do, but in the NFL, sooner or later, if you don't become a passer, those guys get all over you. Those defensive coordinators will figure out Lamar Jackson. I'm telling you right now, obviously it's not this year, and hell, it might not even be next year, but the year after that, guys will have Lamar Jackson figured out. Now, will Lamar Jackson be still a consistent runner at that time? I don't know. Will he work on his game? I don't know. But as of right now, Lamar Jackson is not a good quarterback. And I just stating it, and that's just facts based upon what the guy does as a quarterback. And you cannot say, oh, God, he's a great quarterback when he's not. Now, again, I'm not trying to bash the guy. I don't even, really in reality, I don't even care because the team is where it's at. I am not going to sit here and say, well, guess what? He's not being effective, because he is. I'm not saying he's not being effective, guys. So just be up there. He's not a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's not good for the Baltimore Ravens, but as far as any other team, I don't know. They had to build around it. And right now, if you're the Baltimore Ravens this year and next year, if you're going to do it, if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you better do it this year. You better do it next year, because after that, I don't think there's going to be an opportunity for Lamar Jackson to go do whatever he's going to end up doing. So right now, they're 11-2. They're a 2-touchdown favorite over tonight's opponent, the Jets. And I will tell you, I'm picking them tonight. I'm picking them. And listen, the Jets are no slouch, guys. Now, granted, I would like to see them win last week. I forgot who they played. I don't have my list in front of me on who they played. But I would have liked to see them win last week, just and mainly so they could stay right there with the New England Patriots. Now, a win tonight for the Jets, boy, oh boy, would that put some pressure on New England. I'm going to tell you right now, that would be something that the New England Patriots wouldn't necessarily want to happen. All right, so here, I'll tell you who they're playing. I got it right in front of New England, all right, is on the road taking on Cincinnati. Now, we already heard about the Spygate Part 2 on that and don't even care. I'm sorry, I don't even care about that. And I know that everybody wants to go ahead and say, hey, you know, they're just a team that just cheats. That's all they do is cheat. Listen, it just depends on what you're looking at. I mean, who cares? They're stealing signs. They do it all the time. I just don't care. And mainly because when it comes time for the game, yeah, I guess if you want to call it an advantage, go ahead. Okay. But when you have the talent that the New England Patriots do, I don't care about these stupid little petty stories. Okay. As long as they have fake plays in the game plays that are just so far-fetched that no one runs them except once in five or six seasons. And trick plays mean nothing to me. In fact, I hate trick plays. Just ask anybody that knows me. I hate them. So if that's part of the game, so are people cheating. That's what is being done. And what do they always say? You are not trying unless you're cheating. Now, good, bad, or indifferent, that's just the way it is. I'm not condoning. It's not even, in fact, I'm not even condoning. I don't care. Steal signs, do what you got to do. Film, do whatever you're going to do. It is what it is. But, now the fact that they had to do it against the Bengals, I guess that is kind of funny when you think about it. But the simple fact of the matter is that situation for that game, we'll find out the repercussions of that as far as what the NFL is going to do about it. If anything, they'll probably slap a fine on them and then they'll just continue doing it. They got to do something to completely stop it. If the NFL is really worried about it, they would put a hurting on them. And I'm talking about first-round draft pick, just take it away from them. Now, that will cause a lot of problems. Of course it will. I mean, the fans will be up in arms and everybody will hate the idea. But again, I go back to who cares? Who cares? So that's the New England Patriots. But back to this game, when you take a look at it, the Baltimore Ravens right now, 9-game winning streak up for grabs here right now. They're going for a 10th tonight, and they can clinch that, again, that second time that they won the NFC North. So that's really huge right there. And if you take by the way, I'll even say it, I'm actually impressed. They beat some pretty important teams in there. You look, New England, Seattle, San Francisco, and Buffalo. Those are all playoff contending teams right now. So you look at those and you go, as far as can they beat, solid football teams? I think the answer to that is yes, absolutely. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. I don't think there's anything that you could look at as far as that's concerned and not be somewhat impressed. And even Sonny Clark is impressed. They're going to win this division. They're going to be in the playoffs. And then the question will be, what about that other stuff? So, and just as a comment from my brother, guess what? This game will be over in the first quarter? Quite possibly. I won't say that, though. I won't say that. Because, listen, the Jets are not a great football team. We all know that. Okay. But there are some certain things that the Jets that you have to look out for. And, the simple fact of the matter is they're only allowing 75 yards a game. But then you have to ask, will it matter? Because Lamar Jackson is the running part of that team. Will they get the running, also the other running back involved with it? So the Jets are pretty much selling out probably on Lamar Jackson. And I say, why not? Okay. If you're going to get beat, Have Lamar Jackson prove that he has an arm. I would sell completely out to Lamar Jackson. Now, he can pass the ball within 10 yards, great, and everything else. But if you want to stop that football team, I think you got to sell out to Lamar Jackson, run the ball, on first and second down, then figure out what you want to try to do on third down, because it's usually a breakdown on third down, then he'll get the first down. So you take a look at that. That's, the Jets have got some work to do. There's no question about that. But, again, when they only give up that amount of yards per game, that makes them number 2 in the league, guys. And that is huge. Right now, they're second in the rushing defense out there. The Jets have only allowed a league low 3.03 yards per carry. Guys, that is super bad. That is super bad. A lot of times they're getting them in the negative. And what do you mean negative? Well, 98 tackles for no gains or negative yards. So you look at that part, and then you have to say, well, you got to be somewhat impressed. Now, that don't count the kneel downs at the end of the game when it don't matter. But talking about game time when they are running the football in reality. So 98 tackles for no gain or negative yards, guys. And that leads the NFL. So there's something to kind of look at it. Yeah, you can say this game is over. You can say, and listen, guys, I'm on the Ravens. I got to hope that they can beat them. Not because of Lamar Jackson. I want to see what the Jets can do to put some pressure on the New England Patriots, who, by the way, are on a 2-game losing streak. And guys, we haven't mentioned that in years. The New England Patriots don't lose games in a row like that. So lots of stuff to look at in that one. Important part in this one here is that, though, the Jets stand up. I would love to see what they can do. If they could beat the Baltimore Ravens here tonight, they put themselves on the map. They put themselves as maybe they are contenders, not pretenders. They got a wild card for a reason. So really interesting. Remember, the top 2 in the divisions get a bye in the first week of the playoffs. And boy, does that work a lot for you in reality when you are talking about what is happening for their team. So, I don't know. I am just one of those guys that say no. I'm just one of those guys. Listen, I can't in good faith think the Jets are going to win this football game. Okay. I just can't. I would like to, but I don't think they have the ability to do so. And but there's always something going on, right? All right. You could talk about the fact that this is a football team that is going to be playing in prime time. But Baltimore has proven they can play in prime time. We've seen it already. But can the Jets show up? But I like Sam Darnold. And by the way, I'm mixing up the Jets and the Buffalo Bills here. And the Buffalo Bills are the ones that are trying to do it. So my apologies there. But still, I would still like to see the Jets do it more in the fact to see if they are definitely right there in football. That's what I want to see. Are they ready to go? And will they not take a team lightly? And if this game is close, they took them lightly. And they can sit there and say whatever they want anywhere else. But if the Jets are close in this one, they took them lightly. Because really, as my brother said, and I'll go back to what he said in the comments, this game should be over by the first quarter. I was thinking it was the Buffalo Bills in my brain. I forgot it's the New York Jets. He's right. He is absolutely right. So that having been said, that's one of the most important things as far as what this team is going to go on. Baltimore, are they ready to take that step? Are they ready to be the contenders within the AFC? Because you've got a lot of good football teams in the AFC. You also have some pretenders. I think Houston is a huge contender, a huge pretender. I think Tennessee, even though they got Ryan Tannehill and a lot of people think he's a joke. Okay, I think they're contenders because guess what? When you look at that whole situation over in Tennessee and you look at Ryan Tannehill, he doesn't have to win those games. That defense is there. And he just has to make sure he doesn't throw the games away. And he's actually been playing very, very good since he's been picked up as the backup to one Marcus Mariota, who had this team. If you can imagine that if they would have won some games, then maybe Mariota would be considered a good quarterback. But Ryan Tannehill to the rescue for Tennessee. They at least made the right move to get him in the lineup and start doing what they have to do in order to make a run for the playoffs. Are the Bills a pretender or are they a contender? I don't know. I would love to see what they could do, because if they can have a good season, maybe dethrone, I don't see it happening, but could you imagine if the Buffalo Bills can dethrone the New England Patriots and win that division? That would be an amazing feat for a football team that, let's be honest, no one is. I know I didn't. I don't know about any of the experts. I don't think anybody saw the Buffalo Bills even making a run at the New England Patriots. So that is a huge story to look at. And let's see what ends up happening, because when you talk football, the last 3 to 4 weeks of the season is where the best football is played. You get the junk from the week 1 to week 4. Then you start seeing teams that are going to stretch their legs from between week number 4 and week 13, 14. And then you got guys and teams that are taking a shot at what they have to try to make the playoffs, whether it be making a run for the division, which no one expected, or making a shot or a run for a wild card. And a team that actually was in that position were the Oakland Raiders, but they crapped the bed. They crapped the bed. They had an opportunity to do it. They just had to continue winning football games. But whether or not they could get the win against football teams that are good, that was a huge difference. Also, they gave that game away at the end last week with those penalties at the end of that game. They gave that game away. So pretending teams, I don't know. We know. What's the state of the Chargers, though? That's a good question. The Chargers are going to be looking for a quarterback. So that is huge. You think about it. For the last how many years, we're talking about Phillip Rivers at the quarterback position for that football team. Next year, someone else is going to be quarterbacking that team, unless something happens. Now, do I put this on Phillip Rivers? Of course not. Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback. He's going to start next year, whether good, bad, or indifferent football team, I don't know. I'll tell you right now, there's a team that really should be looking at him. And that is, they're horrible right now. The Cincinnati Bengals should really be looking at him. I mean, in that division of football, it's a tough division of football anyway in the AFC North. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a football team that needs somebody to be able to lead them. I think Phillip Rivers could do that. So that's a team that I really, really should think that they should be looking at him. Also, the Chicago Bears. All right, are you going to stay with your guy? Or if you make a move, everybody's talking about Cam Newton, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't necessarily think that. I think if they do make a move, I don't think Cam Newton is the guy. I don't think that, and that has nothing to do with Cam Newton. Okay, I just don't think he fits the Chicago Bears because it changes the whole offense, and that is a traditional ran pocket quarterbacking quarterback. And for them to bring that in there, I just don't think it's a great idea. So you think about what's going on, that is huge. Now, some news that is happening in the NFL, and we're going to touch on when we take a quick break because I need to get a sip of water. And that also being said, there's some other things going on in the NFL that we're going to talk about. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And when we come back here on Just Because I Wanna, we'll talk about some other things that are happening in the NFL. We'll take the quick break. We'll be right back.
Liberty Air and Heat. Everybody knows what the Texas Heat can do, your air conditioning and heating systems. That's why you need the experts that deliver the best and most honest service in the Rowlett area. We provide the high-quality air conditioning and heating services that keep you more comfortable when you need it. So contact Liberty Air and Heat at 469-678-9444 or visit them on the web at libertyairandheat.com. RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered but you don't want to use Uber Eats? Contact someone locally that can do the same thing at a better price and faster. All you have to do is pick a restaurant on the list at the website, tell us what you'd like to order, then check out. Check out RowlettFoods.com. Give us a call at 972-408-8002 or check us out on the web at RowlettFood.com.
All right, welcome back to Just Because I Wanna here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's a Thursday afternoon. We skipped last week. That being said, can be heard on Sunday, 9 to noon. We'll take a look at all the games that are going on in the NFL. It's going to be really cool. By the way, I want to talk just really quick. The New England Patriots right now, they're in a deep. We'll talk about that. They got some splaining to do. Whether or not you care about it, I know I don't. But I know there's a lot of people, oh, that's it. They're just doing what they always done. Just cheat. I'm so sick of hearing about the Patriots always cheating. Because, listen, I played the game, guys. Okay? And what they always said is if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And everybody football who played the game has said that, but yet everybody who's played the game all of a sudden jumping down the Patriots. Yeah, they get caught more than most. I guess you're just stupid, you get caught. But if you're not trying unless you're cheating. And let me just say this, and I'll just say it right out. It's real simple. Every team cheats in the NFL. Again, they may be dumb and they are the ones that get caught, but every team cheats in the NFL. So I don't care about this ticky-tacky crap. I personally don't care. I'm not the commissioner of the NFL. The commissioner of the NFL probably has to do something about it. And whatever they do, won't care. Bob Kraft won't care. Even if they take away a first-round draft pick, they don't care. They don't care. Because they find a way to get to the playoffs each and every year, okay? So if it really affects them, it won't be by much. So no one cares. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. The Patriots are taking on the Bengals this week. But the more important game, as far as that division is concerned, are the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is playing on Sunday Night Football. They got the main market to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we talked about this, an important game. Last week, they had the opportunity to do so. And I picked the Bills to beat the Ravens last week. Ended up obviously being the wrong one. But another team, though, a team right now that is just coming out of nowhere and figuring it out, okay, are, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you can say whatever you want about them. They haven't had a quarterback, but guess what? They are right there in contention for a wild card spot. They're not going to win the division, guys. They're going to be on Sunday Night Football taking on the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to watch this one. Guys, I usually sit and I do things, as I am the hardest working man in sports radio. I'm usually doing something during those games because I hate commercials. I'll be watching this one, guys, because we're going to find out. I mean, out of all the teams, pretender or contender, Buffalo gets the opportunity to prove that they can be a contender in the AFC, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're going to talk about that game on Sunday morning, so make sure you join us for our 3-hour extravaganza every single week where we talk NFL football right here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's that being said. Some other interesting games that you have to keep track of. The longest rivalry in NFL history, the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. That game is an early game in Green Bay. And really, when you take a look at the standings and everything, Green Bay needs this game because get this, Minnesota is in action. And let's see, who are they taking on? Minnesota, they are at home, if I'm not mistaken. Well, come on. Minnesota's on the road. They're taking on the Chargers. So an important game here for the NFC North. Because right now, Minnesota wants to try to get into the standings and try to get on top in the NFC North so they can at least host a home game in the playoffs in the first round. Whether it's a wild card or whatever the case may be, a Saturday game or a Sunday, it don't matter. Because right now, I don't think they're going to be one of the top 2 teams that get the bye in the NFC. Right now, Green Bay, tough game. But as far as Minnesota, they're 9-4. So they need this game against the Chargers. And the Bears are not an easy W. Not at all. So they're going to have to see what they can do. They're going to have to work hard at this one, more so than just going in there and getting a victory. Same thing with Minnesota. The Chargers figured out how to beat the Jaguars, but who can't? Okay. Yes, those are my Jaguars. So say whatever you want. That's a bad football team. A little bit different though. Minnesota and this should be a game Minnesota should be able to win. We'll talk about it on Sunday. But man, if they get the victory and the Green Bay Packers drop that game, that's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Other interesting games here. Was last week's Denver game a fluke? I don't know. We'll find out in Kansas City when Denver goes to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. I don't know. But the most important game as far as title contention happens tomorrow or Sunday morning or in the early games where the Houston Texans go on the road to play the Tennessee Titans. They need to beat the Tennessee Titans to hold on to that first place spot in the AFC. Guys, talk about it all the time. Momentum. Right now, the Tennessee Titans have got a lot of momentum coming into this game. So that game, early game out there, as far as that's concerned. Another interesting game to keep your eye on because there, as far as the season is concerned, you have to ask yourself the question about the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, they are horrible. As Charles Barkley will say, they're terrible. They're crazy knuckleheaded terrible. They're terrible. But they're at home. But they're also taking on a Rams football team that all of a sudden in the last 2 weeks have changed their core on the offense. And they're playing better. And the Dallas Cowboys, if there's a time where players forget about gathering around their head coach, just forget about it. What do? Do they want to play in the playoffs or not? And sometimes when you look at a team like this is a team that's got to stand up. Like, do you want to just be done at the end of the season or do you want to make a run at it? Now, the Dallas Cowboys have got talent, but they don't have any kind of organization. And that is the huge thing. It comes from coaching. So that is going to be a game that's going to be interesting because it depends on what team you're going to get. Now, Monday Night Football, interesting game there. The Indianapolis Colts are on the road, take on New Orleans Saints. Listen, New Orleans is set. They'll probably get the first round bye, as their record right now is 10-3. The only team that is playing better or has a better record are the San Francisco 49ers. So, right now, if they continue to win, let's see, Green Bay is at 10 wins. Depending on what happens in that game, it's going to be huge against the Bears. So a pretty important game in reality for the New Orleans Saints to get the win. Now, if they don't get the win and Green Bay loses, they'll be fighting for that bye. And don't forget the Seattle Seahawks are 10-3. 10-3, and they're second in their division. And New Orleans is 10-3. Green Bay is 10-3, and they're wiping out the Dallas Cowboys or Philadelphia Eagles, whoever wins that division of football. And guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm just going to put it out there. And this is after a bad performance last week. I think Seattle Seahawks are going to be in Super Bowl. I really do. There is something about Russell Wilson. There is something about this team, like they got something to prove. And listen, doing it without the League of Bungholes, I mean, the Legion of Doom, the Legion of Bungholes, I hate those guys. I'm glad they're gone. Now we get a real football team that I can root for. I can actually root for this team. And main reason why is they don't have the punk and the punk of the century, in my opinion, is Richard Sherman. Now, granted, this guy's a punk. I don't like him, but he's up for Man of the Year. Now, I don't know what the requirements are for you to be considered a Walter Payton Man of the Year. Okay, I don't know. But here's what I'm going to say. If Richard Sherman wins this, I don't know what he's done this year. I don't care what he has done this year. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just not a fan of this guy. Listen, I'm not going to deny the guy's talent, but I just don't like the way he presents himself. And let's just say, and again, I'll even put it out there. I haven't watched this guy this year because I'm disinterested in him. Okay, to me, he's irrelevant. I'm not going to waste my time watching Richard Sherman. Okay, now, plays on a good football team in San Francisco. Okay, I get it. But this is an award that recognizes an NFL player for outstanding community service activities off the field. Now, I don't know what he's done, nor do I care. But here's one of the things that they get. For him making the final 32, he gets $50,000 that he can give to a charity. That is always good stuff. And the award winner will receive $250,000 to a donation of their choice as well. So you think about some of the players that have won this award, okay? This is what I know. Drew Brees has won it. Okay? Larry Fitzgerald has won it. Jason Witten, Eli Manning, J.J. Watts. I mean, you think about it. So they won it. Now, some other nominees that are out there. David Johnson from the Arizona Cardinals. The Atlanta Falcons, Ricardo Allen. Baltimore Ravens, Brandon Carr. The Buffalo Bills, Lorenzo Alexander. Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton. Allen Robinson for the Chicago Bears. Giovanni Bernard for the Bengals, Jarvis Landry for the Cleveland Browns, Travis Frederick from the Dallas Cowboys. Every team gets a guy. Justin Simmons, Denver Broncos, Devon Kennard for the Lions, Packers, Blake Martinez, DJ Reader for the Texans, the Colts, Pierre Desir, the Jaguars, Calais Campbell, the Chiefs, Dustin Colquitt, the Chargers, and I'm not even going to say the name. Okay. Yukina Nwasu, I think. Andrew Whitworth from the Rams, Devon Gachas from the Dolphins, Kyle Rudolph from the Vikings, Kyle Van Noy from the Patriots, Teron Armstead, the Saints, Nate Soldier from the Giants, Jonathan Harrison, Jets, Tahar Whitehead for the Raiders, Malcolm Jenkins from the Philadelphia Eagles, Pouncey for the Steelers, Richard Sherman again, we'll talk about that, Bobby Wagner from the Seahawks, Mike Evans from the Buccaneers, and Ben Jones from the Titans, and Nick Sundberg from the Washington Redskins. Those are the guys that have been nominated. Each one of them get $50,000 to give to their charity. The winner gets $250,000 more to give to their charity. So congratulations to those guys. But Richard Sherman, I just don't see it. It's Tony Wittenberg. Good to see you. Wentback. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. Checking in here on my show here just because I want to. We're talking sports here. That's just what we do. I get on, 45 minutes to an hour, and we just come and talk some of the things that are going on in the NFL. Again, I don't know. Should he get it? Should he not? I don't know. Should Roger Goodell come down on the Patriots? Yes. Do I care? No. Listen, I don't care. I don't care if every team has done exactly what the Patriots have been accused of being doing in the past, and they did it. Don't care. Because I don't. I don't know how filming whatever they film or whatever they do, I don't see how that helps you. You got film, you get game film all day long. Hey, but whatever you want to do it. Don't care. I'm tired of I'm tired of worrying about it. Yeah, that's probably it. I'm tired of worrying about who's cheating, who's not in the NFL. It's just nonsense to me. Now, that having been said, you take a looking at some of the things that are going on right now for tonight's game. This just came up. Looks like Lamar Jackson has a kind of a leg injury, and he's saying he doesn't care about it. He's got a sore quad. So the question would be, I mean, come on. I mean, if and when you get ahead in this game against the Jets tonight, how much Lamar Jackson do you really want to keep in there? And this is an important thing, because I'll tell you right now, if they're up 3 touchdowns and Lamar Jackson, tears his quad, that's all on coaching. Once you figure out what's going on in this game against the Jets, it'll be there. Now, there's some guys that have been ruled out in the game tonight. So let's talk about those because of the injuries that are going on. And, well, where are my other banners? Oh, well, okay. Let me see if I can find my other stuff that's going on, because I had the injury report and I probably lost it. Yeah, I probably lost it. Let's see here. There it is. Hopefully I'm not. Yeah, my camera's on. That being said, all right, so injuries for the Ravens. Offensive lineman Ronnie Staley is doubtful with the concussion. Chris Board is out with the concussion. Wide receiver Mark Andrews, he has a knee. He is questionable. Jets offensive lineman Ogata, tight end Griffin, and cornerback Brian Poole. And let's see here, running back Powell. They're all out. And then there's some doubtful ones. The Jets wide receiver, Demaryius Thomas, he's got a hammy. Arthur Mullet with the calf, and Jamal Adams are doubtful for the game. So that being said, there's lots of stuff going on in that game. So watch out for that one. By the way, just so that you know, the Jets haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher except one time this year. All right. So say whatever you want. That's huge in itself. That's huge in itself. So watch out for that. I think that's an interesting stat. Now, I don't think you can consider Lamar Jackson as a rusher. He's a quarterback. Supposedly he looks to throw first and then run second. I just kind of think it's definitely the other way around, but in reality, it's the guy that makes a difference out on the football field. So watch out for that. So those are some of the injuries that are said. Again, I don't think the Jets are going to win this game. That's going to be huge. So it's going to be interesting as far as that is concerned. Now, Cam Newton goes in for the surgery. He's resting now on his injured foot. He is in Atlanta right now, so we won't see him for the rest of the year. Where can we see Cam Newton? Also, the big stuff, Baker Mayfield. I don't know what the situation in reality, but Baker Mayfield, will he forget what happened between him and Kingsbury? Some scars remain there as the Cleveland Browns. All right, they are in Arizona. So if anybody knows each other, Kingsbury from the Arizona Cardinals knows Baker Mayfield. So I'm just giving you a little heads up as yes, the coach of the Arizona Cardinals coached Baker Mayfield back in the day when he was in college. So that's something to keep an eye out on. Whether or not the Arizona Cardinals will be able to stay right there, there'll be a big story. Stay with the Cleveland Browns. That's going to be an interesting game, by the way. And by the way, also, if you're a lover of Red Zone, and Red Zone only usually puts minimum three, sometimes only 2 games in the afternoon. Well, this week, guys, there's a total of 5 games in the afternoon that we will get an opportunity to watch on Red Zone. So it won't be 1 of 3. So you got that going for you in the afternoon on Sunday. So some of the things. There's some other news out in as far as other sports are concerned. Some big signings in baseball for pitchers, breaking the record once and then breaking it again. Listen, it's all about pitching. I'm not going to get into the names and things of that sort because it's not really going to do any good as far as that's concerned. You got to get pitching in baseball. And I can sit there and evaluate every position out on it. It's almost like football. If you don't have pitching, especially when you are going into the playoffs, if you don't have pitching, you're pretty much shot. The Yankees went ahead and got some big deal. Forget other team that grabbed them. 2 records within 2 to 3 days that were broken, that were huge. Now, before I get off there, I want to just talk a little NBA. And guys, I'm going to start watching the NBA at Christmas. Okay. It's the only thing that's on. There's no NFL. If I'm not mistaken, Christmas is on a Wednesday. So we'll have basketball. No NFL games on Christmas, unless it's, Sunday, but that's the only way you get NFL football games on Christmas. So you get basketball. So some interesting things when you take a look at the teams who are doing well and who are not doing well. But I want to tell you right now, there's a team that's keeping up with the Los Angeles Lakers, guys. And right now, let's be honest, okay? And I hate to admit it. I mean, it makes me sick to my stomach that I got to admit it, but I'm gonna, okay? But Los Angeles Lakers are probably the best teams in the NBA. But there's a team that's keeping up right now is the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this is a team that's been slowly but surely over the last 3 or 4 years trying to build their organization to put themselves in a better position to be good. Okay? Now, I not by any stretch of the imagination think that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be able to do whatever they got to do to beat them in the finals. I'm not saying that. But watch out for them. This is a team that's really kind of been working on what they've been doing over the last few years. And I'm actually impressed with them. They remind me, if you go back a couple of years, how about 5 or 6 years, how the Pacers slowly started building their team up to be contenders. And of course, they didn't get the job done, but it's kind of reminding me of that. And so watch out for those. That's an interesting team in basketball to watch. Some other teams out there that are set and ready to go. Also, some teams that are surprising. Some right here in Dallas, the Mavericks. They are 16-7 right now. If you look at them, they're like at number 6. For the ones that they picked to go in the playoffs. Luka Doncic is the real deal. Without question. If you want to question that, you can. I think it would be a silly question to do. Don't question that. Luka Doncic, he might be in consideration for the MVP. Granted, I haven't watched a lot, but I've been listening a lot. I hate to even say it. There's a guy that knows basketball best. It's Stephen A. Smith, and I usually watch him on Wednesdays. I didn't catch him last night. But Wednesdays, he does that NBA thing for ESPN, and I've been watching it. So, but some other teams that are out there that might be surprising, some teams that you didn't even think about. But the team that I thought Portland when they signed Damian Lillard to the biggest guy in the sky. This is the guy that's making the most money in the NBA right now. Okay, as far as salary is concerned, is Damian Lillard, 10-15. And the Portland Trailblazers need whatever they can get in order to do whatever they're doing. So they're 5-5 in the last 10. They have got to pick it up. They go ahead and they get the veteran off the side. His name slipped in my mind. I'll get that. It's just my mind's on football. But this is it's a situation. Will it be good? Will it be bad? I don't know. Some interesting thing. Another team to watch out for that I don't think people were really expecting a lot from. I don't know, but Philadelphia, I think they got a good shot, especially over in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference in reality is wide open. I don't think there's any teams that are win all, take all, more so grabbing up the conference in the East, just taking them by the throat. We're not seeing that. There's only one 20 game winner. The closest team after that is 18. And you have 2 teams at 18, that being Philadelphia as well as Miami. And then there's a couple of 16-win teams, Toronto and Indiana. So it's going to be really interesting. We'll dive into the NBA, of course, as the NFL starts dying down, as our show continues. It's called That Being Said. We'll shift our show to 12 to 3 after the NFL season is over. And then we will probably dive more into what we're seeing in baseball, what we're seeing in basketball, and we'll always keep you up with NFL news. So, guys, that's going to do it for me, Sonny Clark here. I got on air. Why? Just because I wanna. And that's what that name of the show is here. So thanks for joining us here for a little bit on the Couch Potato Sports Show. We'll see you Sunday. And by the way, guys, hey, those that don't know, Sonny Clark does the commentary for a local indie wrestling promotion right here in the Dallas area. It's called SOAR Championship Wrestling. They have their situation, what they're going to do. They're going to have their WrestleMania. It happens on February 13th. I will be doing commentary for that. We will be streaming that as well. So those that want to see the show as far as SOAR Mania is concerned, it's going to be coming to you from the Richardson Civic Center. So as we go, I'll leave you with that commercial as well as the outro for the Couch Potato Sports Show. We'll catch everybody Sunday morning. Have a good one.
Richardson, Texas. Look out. SOAR Championship Wrestling presents SOAR Mania, Thursday, February 13th at the Richardson Civic Center. Bell time is at 7:30. This Mania you don't want to miss.